Welcome to a special RadioRadioX music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smulison, proud RadioRadioX contributor from New York. I am delighted to present this interview with Mr. David Reece and Mr. Andy Susemihl, who you might know from their solo endeavors or as the creative driving force of Bangalore Choir, a band that got their start in the 90s and has continued to this day now that it's been rebooted. These two gentlemen did a fantastic job rebooting this band, and they have created a worthy successor to the debut album, which is called On Target. This is On Target Part 2, Rapid Fire Succession. You are hearing a clip of The Driver's Seat, which is one of the lead singles. We're going to talk all about it. And then we're going to talk about some other songs like Bullet Train and Sail On and some others that really resonated with me and the audience, because this album has been tearing it up in 2025, and I think it's going to lead to bigger things for Bangalore Choir and their fans in 2026. So, RadioRadioX.com listeners worldwide, please welcome in their station debut, Andy Susemihl and David Reece. Okay, so I am just so thrilled. I get to talk to these two gentlemen pretty much every year, right? We've got, to my left, we got Mr. Andy Susemihl, who I'm a fan of individually. Hi. How you doing? How you been? You remember this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of the first tries to walk on solo paths.
and that's cool. And then we got in the Brady Bunch version of what I'm looking at, we got Mr. David Reece right there. And how you doing, David?
Great to see you, brother.
Yes, always a pleasure. And I'm a fan of you individually, and then of course as the driving force behind Bangalore Choir. And
Absolutely.
And so it's just wonderful to see you both. Now, we spoke earlier this year because, oh, there it is. Rapid Fire Succession came out, On Target Part 2, and it really resonated with your fans, and I'm going to assume hopefully open the door to a new audience. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before we started recording, I just went out as Bangalore Choir with two alternate guitar players.
Yeah.
I debuted Bullet Train and Driver's Seat in the set, along with a lot of On Target and a couple of Accept songs from each. And I was astonished when you play like Czech Republic and people are screaming Driver's Seat in the audience. And I thought I was hearing things, and people were yelling Bullet Train. And as soon as we played it, they were all singing the chorus.
So
it was magic.
That's your rock and roll country right there, I guess, huh?
Well, I mean, Germany as well. I mean, Belgium, everybody knew the songs, and the media has been incredible. I just found out, I shared it with Andy earlier, we sold out of the first pressings. They repressed and shipped out again.
Wow.
So that doesn't happen very often, my friend.
No, it does not. Andy, how do you feel about that when you hear they got to go back to the machinery to make more?
That's great. I mean, what else do you need? I mean, that's awesome, and also awesome, that the crowd is singing the songs, and that speaks for a really good promotion, really good distribution, and really good really good songs as well.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know if you're aware, when it went to U.S. radio, we stayed at number 1 with Bullet Train for 6 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, is that the Baltimore station?
Yeah, and then the same one, we stayed at number 1 with Driver's Seat for 3 weeks. We're still in the top 10 with them. KNAC is pumping it on rotation, as well as Metal Shop.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough about Brave Words. They are, I mean, we're talking today. Michael sent me a reminder about our interview today. And, normally record companies do the big 4-week hype before it's released. And then the day of release, the day after, it's crickets. It's silence.
Right.
But I really went after them saying, listen, man, I don't want that typical promotion campaign blitz and then go silent. And he said, no, I know what I'm doing. He said, I've
Yeah.
worked for Kiss for years. I've worked for Wasp for years. I know what I'm doing. We're going to further extend months after the release, which is great, you know?
Excellent. Well, and I think you're making a lot of best of the year type lists and things like that. So that also speaks. So it naturally lends itself to these sorts of conversations. And
Absolutely.
and I'm looking at the Bangalore Choir set list. I hope you don't mind, just real quick. So you're doing a nice mix of stuff. Yeah, you it's got to be tough. You were playing with, not, I don't mean tough in the sense of difficult for you. It's got to be tough to pick the songs because you've got such a vast catalog, is what I mean to say. And you're doing some new stuff, like you're saying. You're doing some songs off of Eat the Heat. You've got XTC and Generation Class and Hellhammer on there. That's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got a couple of these new ones, and you've got the Bobby Bland cover. That was kind of the
Ain't No Love. Yeah.
yeah. That's the
Yeah.
template of the Bangalore Choir. I'm sure that you played some audibles there and rotated some stuff out, but that's a solid set. And then after that, everybody was getting a taste of Alcatraz and Girls' School, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how
I mean,
the shows were
go
great.
ahead. Yeah, we sold out every show but one, and that one was about 85% capacity. It was
Wow.
nuts. And we had three different types of bands. You know, it was like Hard Rock Dave, Neoclassical Alcatraz, and then Girl School, you know, they're kind of Motorhead punk. So we had a very eclectic audience. It was wild. I mean, people were there to see all of us, which
Yeah.
was great. And when you pulled up to the venues, there was crowds at every show wanting all of the bands to sign merch. Really, really, really impressed. Giles Lavery
Excellent.
deserves a tip of the hat. He did a great job in putting that tour together, and it was pretty rough. I mean, I think it was 13 in a row.
Oh,
We
wow.
had one day off.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, for
No.
a singer, it's tough. And then, of course, that gremlin flu hit the merch person immediately. They were isolated with masks, and then it hit a couple of the drivers, and we're all in two different
Yes.
vans, and I'm wearing a mask because I got to sing. And
Yeah.
guys behind me are coughing. I go, "How you feeling?" They go, "I don't know, man. It was cold and wet. It's a typical European weather."
Right. So
But we
I
got
was
through it.
thinking, yeah, I was thinking for a second there, I'm thinking Andy might be missing some of that. And now I'm hearing about that last part. I'm thinking Andy's not missing any of that. He doesn't want to
No,
be in a
I'm okay
van with
with
sick
it.
people.
I wouldn't mind to play acoustic shows for the rest of my life. You know, that's
Right.
I just walked into the venue once and walked out once with all my gear. You know, so it's great.
And he was home. He was home in his bed in about 30 minutes, so
Right.
it's pretty convenient.
Well, let's talk about that. We said before we were rolling, you did an acoustic show at the Fiddler's Green.
Exactly.
And where's that?
Oh, that's in southern Germany,
Okay.
like half an hour south of a town called Ulm. So, yeah,
And you
nice
didn't
Irish pub.
and you did an acoustic set, just the two of you, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you did some covers, you did some Bangalore Choir, you did some Andy, and like we were saying, those sorts of shows, you gotta retool some of the songs, right? You gotta restructure them a little bit just to make sure that they fit the vibe. And from what you're telling me prior to us rolling, it seemed to really resonate with that audience. Those were the people who really wanted to be there. Those are your tried and true fans, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was really surprised. It was everybody stayed. It was very relaxed, casual atmosphere. We talked to the audience, you know, and every song we played, right, Andy? It was everybody knew it. I mean, we even played the Johnny Cash version of, you know, "Hurt" and the Soundgarden song. What's it
Rusty
called?
Cage.
And Rusty Cage. Yeah,
Yeah.
we played the Cash version of that, and people went cuckoo. I mean, they
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah!" And then we played "Ring of Fire" for an encore, and everybody was singing it. We didn't know what we were playing. We just went through it, and it was great, man.
That's
Yeah,
excellent.
people dug it a lot. Intimate setting, but great turnout. And
Well, actually, I'm in the process the whole day. I've been reaching out to venues, and Andy's preparing kind of an EPK of a intimate setting acoustic night with Andy and Dave
Totally.
promotion thing.
Yeah.
why not? Because, like you said, we're kind of joined at the hip, and all I can say about that evening was I was kind of hypnotized. It's my escape moment, you know, playing with Andy. I just kind of forget what's going on, and it just flows. I don't
Same
think about
here.
I I don't know what the word is for it. It's just like I get lost and I'm just there. But it's over, and you're kind of sad. It's like you've had the baby and now the baby's here and it's over, and then I'm driving home the next day going, what happened last night? And my wife's
Right.
playing the recording and I'm going, that sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah. And so there's a chance that we're going to see a revival or a
Yeah.
phase 2 or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really convenient. Andy brings a guitar,
Yeah.
plugs it into this little digital amp thing, and I sing in a mic. He sings great harmonies. He sings his songs great. Andy, by the way, you were singing great that night.
Thank you so much.
I stood in the back watching you do your solo stuff, and I was like, wow, your voice was really killing it, man.
Andy, what songs of yours did you do?
I did $1 Billion Light Show.
Mm-hmm.
I did Going Home from my new album, and I did a cover song, People Get Ready.
Which I didn't know was a Curtis Mayfield song, Superfly Guy, and you corrected me on that because I know Beck played on it with Rod Stewart, but I didn't know who wrote it. And then he looked at me and said, Curtis Mayfield, and I said, figures.
It's originally by Curtis Mayfield. I didn't know that as well.
And,
but they made it famous. They made it more famous. Jeff Beck and
$1
Billion Light Show's on Alienation, right?
It's on Alienation.
Yeah, that's one of the highlights of that one. Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, people like it.
Yeah, excellent. And so David, you step back, you have a little water, and you just get to listen to the maestro, right?
Yes, sir. I walked through the crowd, and my wife was there, and Andy's girlfriend, and they were filming. There were a lot of photographers there. So all day long, actually, Andy, I've been getting pieces from different people that I didn't even know were filming. Like I said earlier, Andy's going to do a compilation promotion kit, and I've reached out to probably half a dozen venues this morning and this afternoon, saying, "Yeah, I heard about it. Sounded good. When are you thinking about it?" So we're kind of trying to schedule something for early next year in February. And
excellent. So let's talk a little bit more about Bangalore Choir and the resurgence. I think they're like you're saying, it's opening some doors for you. And are you seeing older fans coming back, or are you seeing brand new fans who are just saying, I kind of knew who you were individually, but now I'm here because I knew you from your prior stuff, and I'm here for this?
I'm seeing those, the ones that knew about us. And I saw a lot of 20-somethings in the venues singing the songs.
So there you go.
And so the crossover was really, I don't know, I have the words for that. You know, when a 25-year-old guy comes up to you and says, man, this record is great. And then they hold up On Target.
Yeah.
And then they hold up Metaphor. They'll hold up Cadence. And you go, you have them all? Yeah, I bought the whole catalog.
Yeah.
Every venue I went to, Andy, even like Cacophony of Souls was there at every show. I mean, people know who we are. And I knew that reviving the brand, if it was done like we did it, would work. Because I played those songs with Andy and others in every show I do. And I'm always amazed that everybody knows Slipping Away or All or Nothing or Freight Train. I mean, they know the songs, but like many of us were told, your life's over when the movement of music changed, and go get a slaughterhouse job or something. But I didn't know that the UK and Europe were thriving for a few more years after that happened.
Yeah. And this stuff this is rock and roll. It doesn't really go away, does it?
No, and it's actually
doesn't go away.
Coming around back full circle. I've noticed, like at the shows, like 70s vibe, 80s vibe is strong again. It wasn't like, they want to hear the, grungy, dirgy.
Right.
They're singing along. They're throwing their fists. Everybody's smiling. The only thing about having sold out venues is that nobody can go get a beer because they can't move.
Right.
So it's weird because you'll see venues they're sold out and they're stressed out of their mind, and I'm like, why are they so stressed out? Because they had such a drought after COVID. But the other issue I heard in rumors was they're not happy because people can't even get to the bar to buy a beer.
Ah.
So they're buying the ticket,
Yeah.
which is great, but
Sure.
they've also got staff to pay,
Yeah.
full room than play for 20 people myself.
So one of the songs you mentioned, we're going to go through the highlights, I guess, of the 4 acts. One of the songs that you mentioned was Driver's Seat. That's one of the big singles. It's got that anthemic chorus, easy to get behind. How's it
Andy
feel?
Susemihl.
Yeah, that we're attributing it to Mr. AS over there?
I am. I
Yeah.
mean, I if you don't mind me taking the lead, Andy,
No, not at all. That's okay.
When we began this, I called him immediately with the idea. And our first 4 or 5 attempts just weren't catching it. Remember, Andy? And I think, if memory serves well, Driver's Seat was the first one that slapped me in the face. I said, there it is. He had hummed the melody and a few words in the riff. And I think he had the title Driver's Seat. And it just hit me.
It was my working title, and you kept it there.
Yeah. And it just went, okay, Andy, we're on a roll now. And as soon as Andy and I lock, I compare it to raindrops falling from the sky. What do we write? Like 9 or 10 songs in a couple of weeks?
I think like 9 songs.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was pretty instant, bam, 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 bam. All of a sudden we had like a catalog of songs.
Keepers.
But I feel like that's the vibe. Very much, I want to say similar to Page Plant, Dickinson Smith, maybe also.
Wow.
Just the two of you just gelling. You can read each other.
It works.
You've been working together for so long, on and off, for what, 3 decades at least?
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
I think our comeback, we met in Germany at a Halloween party in about 2005 or something. He walked up behind me and scratched my back, and I jumped. I didn't know who it was, and he was standing there. He goes, what are you doing? I said, let's make a record. He said, let's do it. So we did Universal Language.
Yeah.
We wrote that in about a week. And ever since then, we've been somehow connected. We'll have dry spells, and then I can pick up the phone. It was like I spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah. And why do you think a song like Driver's Seat resonates with an audience live, especially? Is it just because it's so powerful, or is there something deeper going on?
What do you think, Andy?
It's hard to tell. I mean, some songs work, some songs don't. I mean, you realize it live. I mean, that there was like the label involved, and we were asking ourselves, I mean, what would be the first single, Bullet Train or Driver's Seat? But it was those two, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you play a song live, and then you know how if it works live or if it doesn't. So obviously it worked.
And I think it's got a positive chorus too. In the driver's seat, it's got that sticky hook that people don't forget. And we were on stage the other night. We were talking, and we both agreed that if you can't play a song acoustic, it's not going to work electric. If it's a good song, it works in any format.
That's right.
And Andy, like I said, took it in kind of a samba groove, and then he went into a reggae riff, and he goes, "See, we could play it like this too." And I started pretending to be a Rastafarian and just humming along, and the crowd were laughing. And he goes, "You see what I mean?"
Yeah.
And he was right. Bullet Train was a little heavier and more modern, but it still had the recipe of Bangalore Choir intact. So it wasn't that far removed from our original sound. When I played Firefest with Kurt Mitchell and Danny Greenberg, rest in peace. Danny recently passed.
How recent was
I remember they would bring the the amps down from the band before us and give them to the two guitar players to tune up and get their sound, and then they would take them up to the stage. And when we were done, they'd bring them down to the next band, blah blah blah. And I remember Curtis saying to me specifically, "What did you call me for? You don't need me. You got him." He was
Right.
talking about Andy. And while they were warming up, there was this weird punk rock club downstairs in England. And the floor was just vomit. And I mean, it was a punk club. Your feet were stuck to the floor. The toilets were disgusting. But there was a little stage in the corner, and those two guys were just jamming together. What do you got? Show me a riff. And we had a gang of people standing around with their mouths hanging open. I'm like, that's a good guitar team. Yeah.
When did Mr. Greenberg pass away?
A few months ago. It's
Oh.
probably been about 6. He died of cancer.
Oh, that sucks.
I heard from his brother David. I got a message, and I was unaware that he was sick. And from what I hear, Curtis is devastated because they were like brothers.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to Curtis in many, many years, but it was real hard on Kurt.
And he played on all 3 of the original Bangalore Choir albums.
Well, he played on Target. I think he played on Metaphor and Cadence, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He was real instrumental in convincing Curtis to do the reunion at Firefest because Kurt was real apprehensive about going. He agreed, and then he said, "No, I'm not doing it." And Danny said, "If he doesn't go, I'm going to go murder him." That's what he said. "I'll go kill him. I want to go to England and play." So
the thing
Danny
about
was a really nice guy. I mean, he was a great human being. I really have to
remember in the room, he was covered in soap. He was standing there naked in the hallway, and you were just shaking your head like, this guy's a madman. He had a blast. He was drinking vodka all night.
But he was a madman in a good sense, you know. He was
and a brilliant bass player. Graduated Berkeley, and then he graduated BIT.
Oh wow! So he wasn't just some guy he wasn't just some bartender who also played bass for the house band.
Yeah, he wasn't a thumper. He was a guy that he loved Mozart. He could play Mozart with his bass. I mean, he played piano. I mean, the guy was the real deal.
Wow. And I want to also mention, on Bullet Train and Driver's Seat have the theme of momentum and the journey, right? And I think that's something that you like to tap into a lot, David. And Andy does too. I mean, you at this point, you guys are writing about life and the journey. And I think that's a running theme throughout a lot of your work. And it's something that is evergreen.
Well, I heard a podcast today, early this morning. Of course, my sleeping hours are whacked, but a guy was saying that everybody is born with a path. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. We're all given that opportunity. Mine happens to be singing rock music and blues, and Andy's is singing and playing guitar. But I'm not a fan of the mid 80s, whoa. I've told you that before. I want to write something that has a positive message. My faith is strong. I don't believe in negative death lyrics and all that stuff. And there's plenty of that going on. And I think people resonate with that. This kind of music anyways. Yeah. There is a crowd for death metal and black metal, but it's just not me.
No. It doesn't seem to be that way. And Andy, it doesn't seem to be that way for you either.
Not really. I like melodies. I like positive stuff. I mean, my last album isn't really that positive, because I'm reflecting a lot about this other bullshit that's going on around the world, So, but that's the same thing. Like in our lyrics and in our stuff, like David and Mines. I mean, we as an artist, you need to reflect on those things. I think.
Yeah. But Millstones, maybe a little down-tuned, but you do it in a very positive way. The presentation is is done in a way kind of like, I want to say Dark Side of the Moon, where you're tackling tougher subjects, but you're doing it in a way that's very uplifting.
You know what I could do? I could see Andy doing. We actually were watching this big flat screen in his living room. We saw Bonamassa live. I could literally see Andy with a horn section, a couple background singers, and him singing lead and playing guitar. I think I told him that. I said, Andy, you should do something like that. You've got the voice, the talent. And he looked at me and he's like, yeah. I go, that you could pull that off, bro. I mean, play your stuff and some classics, people go cuckoo. I mean, that's a large ensemble, but I mean, he was drooling over Bonamassa' equipment more than what I was talking about.
I mean,
we're going to take a quick break. RadioRadioX.com is a sponsor of the Listen Up Awards. This is your chance to nominate your favorite 518 music artists, and the nomination process has begun. A link is on this interview show notes, and if you want to attend the awards, it's a special 2-day event that will be held at the Coho's Music Hall on February 21st and 22nd, 2026. The show is going to be fantastic. The 2026 Hero Class is full of local favorites who will perform live for both nights. The awards honors excellence and achievement in the Capital Region's music scene, spotlighting the artists, venues, and industry professionals who keep the local sound alive and thriving. Live performances for both nights will be announced in the coming weeks, promising another unforgettable celebration of the region's creativity and community spirit. Check out the link on this episode's notes. We're listening to a clip of the song Sail On off of Rapid Fire Succession on Target Part 2. Now, David, this is a 2-act album, and Sail On is one of my favorite tracks off of the second act. Tell us a little bit about it.
Now back to Sail On.
Sail On.
I played a thing called Rock Party of the Year on January 31st this year and February 1st. And there's a guy named Robert Soderbrooke that does it. He sang for Wicked Sensation, the band that I did a record or two with.
Yeah, sure.
And he invited me as a guest singer. There was like 5 or 6 singers, and actually Les Binks from Judas Priest was there on drums. And sadly, 2 weeks after that show, he passed away.
Oh.
But we had Golden Earring guys on stage, and I didn't even know they were Dutch. I, for some reason, thought Golden Earring was a Canadian band, but they're all Dutch guys. So they're like superstars in Holland. That's where it was. But Sail On, there was one guitar player that stayed on stage for this huge ensemble of singers and drummers and players who played every song. And it was about 60 songs a night. His name is Marcel Singer, and he's in the band called Plan 9, and he's also a solo artist. And his fingers in the dressing room when he took a break were flat, his fingertips, and bleeding. And I said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "I'm having the time of my life." He goes, "I could do this." So I fell over. But I said, maybe we should try to write something together. Because, you hear a guitar player and you go, that guy's got talent. Yeah. Of course, we were playing cover songs and my songs, but he sent me the music for Sail On. And it has grown to one of those songs where people bring it up when I'm in the audience or at the merch booth. They're like, "Oh, I love this song." I recorded that one at Mario Percudani's studio. Plus headed for I Never Meant To and Love and War. I recorded the vocals for those at his place because he had written those 3 others. But Sail On, I said, "Hey, I got this track. I want to try it." And he went, "That's a good one, man. That's a really good song." So hats off to Marcel. Talented guy.
Yeah. Andy, do you know him at all?
No, I don't.
You don't know him?
No, never met him.
He slugs it out. He's slugging it out in clubs, and working full time. I mean, family. I mean, the guy is just, he wants to play guitar all the time, but life calls first, right?
Right. And Trouble with the Truth. Kind of getting a little hard. Yeah. That's a harder edged song. Maybe a little bit more in the style of Bullet Train.
That's Andy. Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, Trouble with the Truth. I don't know. I think you came up with a title, or was it my working title as well?
But I don't remember.
David? Huh?
I think I had the title and you said, "Let me work on that." And 15 minutes later.
I think it was that way. I think you had like rough lyrics and sent it to me, and I came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Andy, man.
That's
This
all
is
him?
this is how we often did it in the past. David just sent me lyrics, to like for inspiration. I just came up with with something that would fit like the lyrics, music wise. Yeah, Trouble
Yeah,
is
and
the
that's that.
It was one of those songs. David asked me, "Hey, I need some songs," and I was like, "Okay," and
Yeah.
just sit down, came up with some stuff, and all of a sudden, we
But
had like
that's
9 songs.
Andy and I, like you said earlier, in lyric writing and songs. Trouble with the Truth basically is it's really odd, especially like in the music business. The more honest you are, the more threatened people are.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. It's all this circle talk. And it's when you get a little successful, there's always these people that infiltrate your circle and they really only care about percentages, and money. They don't care about you if you live or die. They just want to be part of that thing where they can capitalize on it. You don't know their name and they show up and say, well, I can book you here or book you there. But really, they don't care about the music. And that's kind of about that crowd of people. People have a trouble with the truth because you'll look at them and go, okay, you want me to do a gig for that money
Right.
and you want 15% of that? Are you serious? And then right away you realize that if you do agree to that, they're making money and you're not. And you're playing what you love to do, but it's just this like bloodsuckers that come out and say, "Oh, we really want to book this," and blah 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 blah. But then they come with these super low ball offers, but they'll book like 10 shows. So when you do the points at the end of it, you realize, hey, they made 75% more money than the band did.
Right.
So it's about lyrically for me. That's kind of I'll look them in the face and say, "Horse shit, I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
And
You've been
they're
through the ringer
shocked.
enough. Yeah.
They go, how can you say that? I mean, this is a great opportunity. Well, for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it harkens back to an old expression. I don't know. I don't exactly remember who said it or where I heard it, but the more real you get, the more unreal it's going to get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the people that are real are the ones that suffer most in the music industry. They don't want you to be upfront and straightforward. They want you to play the lie game, and I'm not going to do it. Right, Andy?
Yeah.
It's an ongoing battle. It's just so futile. If it was a little bit different, I mean, it's been going on since the beginning of music. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, look at the black artists that started all of this mess. I mean, those guys, they couldn't even go to a white bathroom.
Right.
I mean, they were living in cars. I mean, they're the ones that invented this stuff, not us.
We will take one final quick break here. The second annual EMAs will be held at Empire Live, the home of metal, punk, and hardcore in upstate New York on Saturday, January 17th, 2026. This is your chance to show support for the underdogs and be a part of the biggest 518 event of the year. Visit extrememusicawards.com for more information, and a link is on this interview's show notes. All right, now let's return to the conclusion of my interview with David Reece and Andy Susemihl of Bangalore Choir. David, one of the lyrics in Rapid Fire Succession has you thanking a higher power or maybe your fans for 7 years. Is that about your journey with sobriety?
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny you brought that up. I was sitting with Andy in his house. I think it was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Today being Friday, and Andy looked at me. We went out to dinner.
Yeah.
And Andy looked at me and said, David, I have to say I'm really proud of you. Because Andy knew me in my Hellraiser days, in my drinking days. And I don't hear that very often, and I don't toot my horn. But that meant a lot to me, Andy. I mean, I'm kind of used to it now.
It was straight from the heart. I mean, and I'm serious about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic, and it's embarrassing, but I think that lyric is in one of those songs, and I'm having a problem as well.
Because when I met you, it was about when I first interviewed you. I think it was about 7 years ago, and you had said you had just completed a certain length of sobriety. So I assumed that's what it was in reference to. But if I'm wrong, please correct me.
No, I mean, the conversation with Andy is that there was a point where it got to where I could not function and feel like myself unless I had a few beers. And then I got into this stage where 2 beers would get me completely inebriated. And what that is called wet brain. Because your brain is saturated with alcohol in your body. And amazingly, after I went to the doctor and he explained that to me, my wife had come home one day and she would look at how many I'd had, and I was blasted. And I said, I only had 2, and she didn't believe me. She opened the refrigerator and she saw there was 2 beers. She goes, you're shit-faced. And it was weird because I would get wasted because I'd stopped drinking the night before. I was still there. Maybe just turned the switch on. I don't know. But what the light that came to me was in Copenhagen. I went to a blues bar and was invited on stage to sing with this really good band. Apparently, I sang really well. I don't know. But when they say you see double, I've done that a few times. This time I saw triple. It's a 3-piece band. Right. And that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I got so physically ill after I jumped off the stage that we'd been drinking the whole day before we went, my friend of mine. And I literally dropped to my knees and begged God not to let me drink the next day because I felt so bad. And I went to the airport and my friend ran right for the bar because he was just a mess. And I sat in the bar really wanting to drink, but I didn't do it. But the next day when I got home, I'll have a couple. And I was right back there. I was blasted. And then the day after that was the 4th of September was the day I quit. And that was 7 years ago.
So, okay. Yeah.
I'm a religious, faithful person. I'm not ashamed to say it. A lot of people go, oh, God, you said God. So what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be talking to you right now, I don't think, had I not begged God to just let me make it one day. Because, at 3 o'clock, you start feeling weird. And it's like, why do I feel weird? I'll have a drink. And then you feel better. And then goes the cycle.
Yeah. And nobody ever criticized Ozzy for talking to God. We're talking about God, so
no. But we were talking about I was on stage the other night. We played Changes.
Yeah, how'd that go? No piano.
I actually started playing it the year before he died in France with the guitar player that I was working with. I said, let's play that. And we played it, and the crowd took over and started singing it. And then they did Back to the Beginning, and Youngblood sang it. And the crowd was at Wembley, or in Birmingham, they were going crazy. So I knew it worked. But that song is kind of left field. It really actually shows that Ozzy could sing and have a melody. And I've always loved that song. I remember when I heard it the first time, I was about 14, and wow, what's this? They went from, to da, 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 da. Beautiful song.
Yeah.
And that's in my repertoire every show I do.
Excellent. Andy, you dabble in piano and keyboards, right?
Not really piano. I play it on guitar,
You can figure out the chords.
I figured it out. I made everything work for acoustic guitar, so
yeah.
That's why we played off some of the new releases like in a different feel, because you can't just go all metal on an acoustic guitar. It has to be another feel to like transport the original idea and make it work on acoustic guitar.
Right. But when you do changes on acoustic guitar, does it take the audience an extra second to catch on to what you're doing, and then they're there with you?
No. Because technically the guitar is this way. The piano is flat.
Right.
It's very similar to the chording. And that melody, as soon as they hear that first note, they know.
Oh, wow.
And once you get to the chorus, there's going to be video of it out soon.
Yeah.
Andy and I looked at each other. The whole audience was singing, I'm going through changes. It was crazy.
that was actually wild. You know, it seems people knew the song. I didn't know it before I played it with David. You know, I didn't know the song.
Really?
No, I didn't know it.
Wow. Not what I was expecting.
I mean, Youngblood.
Yeah, go ahead.
That guy. He's. I just heard the Aerosmith stuff on the way home yesterday, driving through Switzerland, and I have to say that kid has got some talent. With Steven Tyler and Joe Perry together, though, it's pretty special. You can really hear the Tyler influence, but that kid, he's the new deal right now, and and the way he sang Changes with live was fantastic.
And then let's talk the close. Well, also want to ask, have you gotten a cease and desist order from Def Leppard because of Rock of Ages?
Have not.
Did not. Okay, great. Not yet.
Not yet. Well, if I was to get one, or Andy was, it would be Mutt Lange, because he technically wrote all those songs. So I mean, I would hate to have that guy chasing me around with lawyers, because he's got quite a lot of dough. But no, it's totally different key.
Totally different song, just same title, and you can't copyright it. You can't copyright a title. That's what I remember from my media law class.
Right. How many Heartbreakers are there? Pat Benatar, Led Zeppelin. I mean, it's like, there's only so many words in the English language.
Yeah.
That, So that was Andy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of my ideas.
Now, and then the closer, like we were saying, is Mending Fences. Now, this is one I would have expected the two of you to have done at your duo show, and maybe you'll bust it out one day. But I think it's such a great closer. It ends on such a high note, not just musically, but lyrically. And is that something that comes very naturally to you, or do you need to meditate on that to get that out?
Well, being a redneck cowboy guy, it's a slang, of course, as you know, as an American. Mending fences is about when you go and run your mouth and you may insult somebody and you wake up the next day and go, man, I got to apologize. It's about making amends, mending fences.
Humility.
And I reached out to Ferdy Dornberg from Axel Rudy Pell, because Ferdy and I used to jam backstage together on a little Casio piano, and we would do Ray Charles type stuff, and that's what I love, and he looked at me one day and he was just kind of jamming, free falling, right? And I'm singing, making up words, and he looked at me, he stopped, he goes, Dave, there's two singers that I can do this with. I go, yeah, and he goes, one is you and one is Joe Lynn Turner. I went, thank you. And he goes, no, man, that's a gift to be able to sing the gospel, to get it, which I grew up on.
Yeah.
I had a lot of that influence in my life. But, so I called him up knowing I needed a piano ballad. I said, I need an Elton John thing. He sent me two pieces, and I chose the music for Mending Fences. And I wrote the lyric in minutes. It just happened. And like I said earlier, it's like raindrops, working with Andy, and I surround myself with the best of the best. I have been so lucky to have hooked up with Andy and multiple people that I know when I call them and say, this is what I'm thinking, this is the idea, they go, I know what you mean. And Andy especially, it's crazy, because I'll say maximum 30 minutes. He sends me a minute and 30-second idea. Does this work? And 90% of the time, yes. There you go, Andy.
Yeah. It's a good combination.
It's weird.
It's a good synergy, I guess.
Yeah.
And I see Ferdy is listed on the guest appearances for keyboard. Yeah. So, him and Jimmy Waldo, who is he with Warlord now, too? He plays with Giles, right?
Right, he was in Alcatraz on this tour. Mm-hmm. Jimmy and I had an American to hang out with, and a couple. Joe Stump was there on guitar. Jimmy goes back centuries. Not to criticize him, but I mean, he's played with everybody, and we had a lot in common, because he's a West Virginia hillbilly. And, we got along good. He calls me RD, the real deal, and I call him J-Dub.
Andy, you ever meet him?
No.
Over
the internet, we wrote back and forth.
Right.
He really admires Andy. he's cuckoo about this record, and he would watch my show every night and go, "Damn, son," And it was weird because I haven't toured that heavy in a long time, so I was a little apprehensive as a singer. But that's a lot, moving that much and that many in a row. I'm like, because Andy and I played an acoustic gig in September, and I was probably about 65, 70%, because I sing at home every day, but I don't sing live.
Right.
And it's been a while, so it's a whole different conditioning thing. So the first 3 or 4 shows on this tour, I'm like, okay, and I don't want to take steroids and all that stuff to,
Right.
A lot of anxiety, which, as Andy knows, as a singer, 99% of it's in your head.
It's all
you tell yourself it's not going to work, it ain't going to work. But as the tour stage went on, the stronger I got. And then Andy's like, don't kill yourself at rehearsal. And then I listened to some of that stuff today, Andy, that we did Wednesday. And it's really good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So what's like you're saying, you're trying to plot some more shows in a similar style where you're a duo, hopefully in February. And then as Bangalore Choir, are they going to be coming around again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and I won't speak about Andy's plans, but he can do that. But I'm scheduling right now into February through March with 2 other bands that I'm not supposed to mention, but a United States tour. West Coast, Southwest, East Coast, Midwest. And it's going to be one of those gruelers, night after night, because you can't afford to take a day off anymore.
Right.
It's just not logistically square. But I'm actually, after this interview, going to call them and see what's the schedule. They've got 6 on the table, but the in-betweens are just brutal drives.
Okay.
It's going to be like 3 cities in each state. And with 97, they were really open-armed with me because they're so behind the record. They gave me all the contacts that station works with on the East Coast, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, North Carolina, all that, all the way down to Florida. So they've been really instrumental in saying, yeah, we'll get behind this show if you book it.
Yeah.
That's the plan. And then if Andy wants to take it from there, I would hope that Andy is available to join up on that tour.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
There he is.
Yeah, I've got American players that are going to do that tour because it's absurd what it costs for visas here to go. I mean, it's like, imagine 4 European guys getting visas for 6 weeks. It's nuts.
Right.
And just you can't afford it. And so I've got a really super rhythm section and rhythm guitar player lined up.
Okay. And then
they're waiting for me to pull the trigger and just say, these are the dates.
Right. Okay. So we'll look out for that, because the RadioRadioX audience they are a local station in Lake George, New York, or in that the Saratoga Lake George area in upstate New York. Beautiful area. And if you're going to do the East Coast, especially if you're going to come up that far north, I think some of the audience.
They did mention upstate New York. It has been brought to my attention. So definitely, I used to play Poughkeepsie all the time.
Oh, excellent! I went to sleepaway camp near there. Yeah, so
I played the Chance probably 10 times in my life.
I was at the Chance. Oh my God! Yeah. I knew that place. I don't know if it's still there, but I remember it.
They shut her down and tore the building down. I think it's a shopping mall.
Oh, that old cliche. That sucks. I went there a couple of times. Yeah.
Historic venue.
Yeah. So we might see Andy there. And then without giving away the store, it sounds like there's going to be a rapid fire succession on Target part 3, which would be 2 more acts possibly, right?
Yeah, I mean, the momentum's there. And Giles, he's the A&R guy for Brave Words. We were sitting in one of those cramped, smelly dressing rooms, and he said, they just repressed again and reshipped, Dave. It's sold out of stock. And I go, maybe I should start talking to Andy and write a new record. He goes, yeah, that would be my advice. And he just kind of walked out of the room. So, once we get rolling, we
Yeah.
know this formula, for lack of a better word, is what works. All I have to do is send an email or a WhatsApp to Andy and say, "Here's an idea. Here's an idea," he says, and we're on a roll. But the album's only been out since October 24th, so I'd
I
really
know
like
that's what's so great about it. Like you're saying,
Yeah.
it has the momentum. It's still
And
resonating.
I would like for once in my life, I don't know about you, Andy, to make a record and really push it for a period of time rather than release one every 3 months and try to stay in the game. That's getting a bit redundant for me. Personally, I want to really promote what I am proud of and what I am part of. And I think the songs do that. But it all depends, I mean, I don't want to make records from my bedroom anymore. I mean, I want to play.
Yeah.
Like Wednesday night with Andy was like, wow, man, this is what it's all about.
There was a magic, definitely.
Yeah.
There was a magic.
Your girlfriend, Andy, she was holding the phone filming, but her mouth was hanging open like that.
Yeah,
And my wife was on the floor just smiling. You could see her behind the phone. And I'd like, was it good? Because you don't know.
I received quite some like really turbo positive feedbacks. People who
And
were
so what?
And
I'm sorry.
I mean, they said this evening was really magical. So
yeah. I heard that millions of times. And a guy wrote me today who's reviewing the show for Rocket Magazine. He's doing a separate acoustic section and the review of the album because he said you guys murdered it.
Yeah.
Right.
And what would this all do to your respective solo work? Does that push things back a little bit because the priority becomes Bangalore Choir? Or do you have your own your next solo records kind of banked and ready to go?
Well, for me, mine's banked.
Yours is banked.
And I did that last year. That's the thing though. I was in France a year ago this time, and I come to the realization that as a solo artist, me, only speaking about me, you kind of plateau with an audience. They come to expect, some of those traditional Eat the Heat songs in Bangalore, but they get your record, you play those songs, but you go back 8 weeks later and it's the same people. You don't really broaden your horizon. So branding is everything. I'm only speaking for myself. I don't know what Andy plans, but I do have one in the can. It's like 14 tracks that I had recorded. But when I was driving home from that tour, I was looking at Mike Tramp doing the songs of White Lion. Now, if you realize Mike is calling it White Lion, apparently him and Vito have figured that out. But I look at Sebastian Bach. I look at Udo Dirkschneider doing the Balls to the Wall 40-year anniversary. That thing has been going on for a year.
Yeah.
Branding, identification is what this is all about. And when I put that phone call in to the agencies and the bookers, they were like, yes, now I can market this. Because David, you're a great singer. You do great work on stage. People love you, but we've got to broaden the horizon. And it was a good decision, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding anybody. I mean, it's like, hey, they recognize the name, they recognize the artwork because it's kind of similar to On Target. The whole thing was in my head coming home going, if I do this, I got to call Susemihl. He knows what I'm doing. He's done a bunch of these records with me. He gets it.
Yeah.
And this is what we came. The baby has been born and here she is starting to walk now.
Andy, how about you?
You mean as far as solo work?
Yeah, you got a Millstones follow-up coming up?
Well,
or is it on hold?
I got songs, like on the hard drive, that I probably will, I want one at a time, on the side, because I'm not in a hurry, I would like to do another album, but not definitely not this year.
Right.
Maybe next year. I'll do it on the side.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So it sounds like you're both on the same page about where you want Bangalore Choir to go.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
2026 may be the year where you finally come back to the US, which would be terrific for us.
It's always a better thing, like to join forces and together you're stronger.
Well, Andy, you're unaware, but I'm booked for the Volcanic Festival and Headbangers in July, and you're going to be there. I don't care what you say.
Where is that?
So Headbangers is Germany and Volcanic is France. And then I've got a bunch of other French states and Belgium and Holland that is confirmed throughout the year.
Sounds
but
good.
I need you on those big stages for those festivals. That's another target too that I'm looking at, because festivals seem to be the new mantra because there's so much to choose from, right? You got 3-4 days, you got 50 bands, you know, and yeah, I'll get in touch with you about that as well.
Yeah. David, these days, are you more Bullet Train or D Train? You're on two trains there.
I'm Bullet Train.
You're Bullet Train.
I'm not discounting the greatness of D Train.
D Train's fantastic.
That's an amazing song, and I've only played it live maybe. Well, I did it with Accept on that first tour, but
you did it with that Udo tour though, right?
Did I play it?
Yeah, I remember seeing the set list. You were
I did. Yeah. And they that and Ecstasy and Generation Clash and Hellhammer always work.
Staples.
I mean, that was my trademark. That was my stamp of the metal side of Accept. We get into the other stuff like Mistreated and those songs, Turn the Wheel, that really didn't resonate. But when I kick into do, we go right into it, and the crowd's clapping their hands and screaming Generation Clash. Ecstasy is our second song in the set, and they all go cuckoo on that one. It's not that easy to sing anymore as an old man, but
right. No, you're a generation older, so I would assume I would assume D Train has to take a back seat to Bullet Train because it's more in your register now.
Yeah. Bullet Train works. We actually played it the acoustic version, and I was pretty surprised, Andy, how cool it sounded.
Yeah, it sounded great. You sang great, and it worked out perfect. I mean,
I can't wait to see your magical EPK that you compile, because you're the master at that stuff.
And be sure to send that over to me when that does when that is finished.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And
Seeking Dates, acoustic special night only.
That would be fantastic.
Man.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you guys go because I know it's been an hour, and David said I have 59 minutes and 59 seconds, and that's it. So I'm going to give you your second back. It's been an absolute pleasure. As everybody knows, I'm a fan of both of you individually and as Bangalore Choir. Always a fan. Always love to hear what you do. And thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we get to see you live in person in the U.S. in 2026.
That would be great. Maybe you can convince me to give blood with you and go in together in a day. If it's
I don't know. No, David Reece's blood is good now. But you do it after a show, not before the show. Yeah. And all right, gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
We love you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. It's always a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Special thanks again to my friends David Reece and Andy Susemihl of Bangalore Choir. The new album, Rapid Fire Succession on Target Part 2, is available now worldwide from our friends at Brave Words Records. We played a lot of clips during this interview. You heard Driver's Seat, Bullet Train, Sail On, and Mending Fences. And we're leaving you with Bullet Train one more time just to give you that extra shot of adrenaline. Be sure to check out David Reece on social. Be sure to check out Andy Susemihl on social. And of course, Bangalore Choir on social. They just wrapped up an incredible tour with Girls' School and Alcatraz. And as we said during the interview, we hope to see Bangalore Choir back in the U.S. where they belong. And hopefully, like we said, they make their way up near the RadioRadioX headquarters in upstate New York. And if you're like me and you still like to physically hold the music, Be sure to check out Bangalore Choir's first 3 albums in their entirety on the collection called All or Nothing. I was held that up during the interview. And as always, be sure to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking musicians like David Reece, Andy Susemihl, and many players in Bangalore Choir. Be sure to visit RadioRadioX.com for all things music, pop culture, art, and entertainment, local and national. And also be sure to check out some of my other interviews with prominent musicians from all over the country, including Armored Saint and Category 7 singer John Bush, local favorite drumming maestro Jason Bittner, also from Category 7 and with Shadows Fall. I also interviewed famous New York City trumpeter Mac Gallahan. That was a fun one. There's a lot of variety on here, so check out RadioRadioX.com and visit us on socials and support your local RadioRadioX.com DJs. They're working hard all the time. I would like to thank Rob and Art and the entire crew at RadioRadioX.com. Keep coming back to the site. I've got more interviews on the way.